March 20 to order. The Rancho City Recreation Park District. Kate, would you like to lead us in place?
And would you hand over your heart? Begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Director Dennert?
I made it.
Director Gray?
Here.
Director O'Brien? Here. Vice Chair Avila?
Here.
Chair Freeman?
Here. Agenda review. Are there any items that need a changing?
Staff has no recommended changes, Chair.
Now is the time for public statements on items that are not on the agenda. I have one card from Glenn Lipman.
I'll note we have a new feature this evening, which is a 3-minute device that everybody can see.
Good evening, Park Board members and staff. My name is Glenn Lippman. My son Brian Lippman is the owner of Long Ball Academy located in Simi Valley. He resides also in Simi. Long Ball Academy offers private hitting lessons and cage rentals to softball and baseball players as well as softball and baseball teams. Long Ball Academy also runs 3 travel ball teams for baseball players ages 9 through 14. I'm speaking on behalf of Long Ball Academy and all Simi Valley youth baseball and softball players and teams. We are requesting that the Simi Valley Parks Board and staff consider removing design use 25 under ordinance number 3, which states no person may play baseball except on a designated baseball field expressly set aside for this activity. No person may play softball except on designated softball fields expressly set aside for this activity. We are also requesting the removal of park administrative rule, no hitting baseballs on a softball field as well. This will eliminate park administration having to monitor a needless rule. We are also requesting that Simi Valley Parks Board and its administration review, develop, and adopt a document that is like the City of Moore Park rental guide. The City of Moore Park does allow the use of all dirt infield ballparks to be used by both baseball and softball. Their guide also has information on who gets to use the ball fields by having a group classification schedule. This will bring any equity issues. Please refer to the attachment. Why do you have this rule as it limits the use and makes no sense? Removing design use 25 and maximizing all ball fields in Simi Valley year-round will not create conflicts and safety issues to people who use the park. Ball fields for softball and baseball were put in the parks to be used by both sports. I am sure when the ball fields were built, conflicts and safety issues were considered. All ball fields were built with max use in mind. Other thoughts. Baseball and softball use a very hard ball. Boys and girls, men and women can hit and throw baseballs and softballs very fast and hard. Baseball and softball have the same risk for injury on the field and around the field and the park. Softball is not less safe, and baseball is not more dangerous. Ball fields are gender neutral. Baseball and softball can be played on either a dirt or grass infield. Girls, boys, men, and women use the same fundamentals to play baseball and softball. The reasons why we are asking for these changes is because there's not enough practice space for all the baseball teams in Simi Valley during the off-season and in-season.
Time.
I got like 30 seconds.
Would the board want to hear the rest of his presentation? Continue.
Thank you. Thank you. The reason why we are asking for these changes is because there is not enough practice space for all baseball teams in Simi Valley during the off-season and in-season. Coaches, leagues, and Simi Valley-based travel ball teams scramble to find adequate practice fields with and without lights. By removing the rule, this would allow more fields to be available to our community softball and baseball organizations. There are many times that fields designated for softball only or baseball only go unused because of Design Use 25. Thank you for your time, and we look forward to seeing changes made to allow all ball players from Simi Valley leagues and Simi Valley private organizations have equal access to all ball fields in Simi.
I have two quick questions to the speaker before you use the podium. I do understand the nature of your argument, but you wouldn't argue that a baseball and a softball go the exact same speed, would you?
I would.
That they get pitched at the same speed?
Well, understand that the girls pitch closer and they throw in college and high school just as fast. Do they throw 100? No. But
So
do
not
they
the
throw
same
50 or
speed.
60? Yeah.
But a baseball can travel a lot further. I mean, it's going to travel a lot further than softball.
My son just went on tour and hit one out of Dodger Stadium. I mean, so
Yeah,
they all go.
but generally speaking, a baseball can be hit a lot further than a softball. I mean,
I
you're not
guess.
disputing that, are you?
I am disputing that, and I think that because the softballs are really, really hard, and they go very far out of stadiums. Because you've got to-
I appreciate everything you were saying
No, I
today.
know.
You're not actually telling me you think that the same person can hit a softball as far as they can hit a baseball. You're not saying that, are you?
I think you can hit a baseball farther.
Right. And a softball field is smaller than a baseball field, correct?
The fields that you have, the fields that are under park supervision, they're all different sizes, and they're huge.
I'm interested in discussing it at a future meeting, but I just want to make sure that we don't have to overinflate the argument. The argument could be there's not enough fields and what we access. But the argument is that a 12th grade boy could hit a softball and a baseball the same distance. I mean, I haven't measured that in a while, but I feel like that's probably not true, or that they're throwing at the same speed. So I want to make sure it's not overinflated the argument, but we stay to the actual nature of it.
Right, and I know we're not discussing this tonight, but again, both as far as pitching a baseball and hitting a baseball, clearly there's other issues involved in terms of, again, clearly you can throw a baseball faster, clearly you can hit a baseball further, and that does play into the safety. I mean, I appreciate everything the speaker said, but we need to make sure we're not misstating facts when we're looking at the issues. So.
Since this is a public comment period, we cannot make any decisions. I think you're aware of that. Are there any other questions of Mr. Lippman?
No, I was saying a softball is bigger than a baseball, so if you hit it, it's not going to go as far with the same energy put into it, drag and everything.
My question, oh, excuse me.
I'm sorry, the softballs will go out of a pro stadium.
Okay. Oh,
My question is, where have they been playing now?
Well, the problem is that they aren't allowed to play baseball on a dirt field, so they don't practice anywhere. They try to get on a elementary school, and the elementary schools don't have fields.
So they're not playing anywhere in Simi now?
They play their games at the leagues, like Senior Youth Baseball, Santa Susana Youth Baseball, all the ones. The issue is all those coaches that are donating their time, they have no place to practice.
Okay. I believe this will be referred to staff.
Thank you for your questions. Appreciate that. Appreciate it.
Is there any other one in the audience that has an item that is not on the agenda?
I think I see another speaker raising her hand.
Beg your pardon?
I see a speaker raising her hand. Before we move on to the next speaker, staff, I am interested in discussion of baseball and softball. We could discuss that later at the staff level, or possibly put on the agenda to discuss, but I'm interested in either one as a discussion.
I didn't have a card. Yes, go ahead.
Hello, good evening, esteemed members of the board and those in attendance. My name is Rebecca Jeffrey, and I am an 8th grader at Hillside Middle School. Before I begin, I would like to thank Mr. Denner for taking the time to help me and suggesting that I attend this meeting. I am here today to request that a one-wall handball court be built in a public park here in Simi Valley. At least one handball court can be found in almost all schools here in Simi. Students all over town, including me, learn and grow to love this game. The problem is, as soon as they leave campus, they only have one place to play, which is at Mayfair Park. Whenever my family has gone there to play handball, we always had to wait. Since the sport is growing in popularity, you can always see at least one person playing there. Having another court would give more people the opportunity to play handball and get away from screens. This sport is not only for younger kids. Anyone can play. My parents often join us in a game. It's great for fitness and healthy competition as well. Thank you for the hard work that you do for us, and I hope you consider building another one-wall handball court.
Thank you for coming.
Before I leave, I'm very passionate about this. So do any of you have any suggestions about what I could do to continue, how I could proceed or how I could help make this happen?
Actually, unlike Director Dennard, I had no idea you were coming in to speak tonight, but I have separately heard that handball is picking up steam in terms of popularity. I would just ask if the staff could look at this and
That's what I was
in terms of what the cost might be and whether it's something that, it seems to me like it's something that may not be compared to just about everything else we do, that great of a cost. And my understanding is, and again, I had no idea this speaker was coming, that handball is picking up in terms of popularity.
Yeah, as the board knows, we get several requests a year for different things. Our process as directed by the board has been to collect those and review those during the budget process. Fortunately, we're right on the eve of that, so I can include the request as a part of our process. I think to your point, to solidify your case, maybe if you wanted to gather how many people you think are playing handball and give us some information and data on how it's growing and maybe how many kids or folks you think are playing the sport and present that to us as well. That would bolster your argument in terms of use.
And our, the district manager called it budget meeting. It's actually project priorities meeting. That's a couple months away, so I guess Director Dennard knows how to contact you. Maybe show up and give the same presentation at that meeting, because I think he makes some great points, and that would be a great time for you to do that.
Okay, thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
I will definitely do that. Thank you again for your
Thank
time.
you.
Thank you for being here.
I know that, Ed, you said it just as good or better than I could. She's a middle school student in Mr. Kuski's class at Hillside, and it's a part of their civics assignment that they write a letter to an elected official with a proposed solution, and that's what she did. And I directed her, I said, I'm only one of 5, so you could come and advocate for it. But the part of the story that's not as positive is Texas just outlawed her assignment. In Texas, where people sometimes compare us negatively, they're not supposed to directly contact legislators as a part of civics assignment anymore. So that's kind of depressing, but we can focus on the positive. In California, you're still allowed to do that as a part of a civics assignment, and that means you understand the nature of it. I'll let you know about the project priorities list, because there's a whole list and probably can't fund them all. But at that meeting, you could bring other people with you, or a list of how many people play, because I don't know how many people play or how important it is, but I'm willing to find out. And thank Mr. Kuski for doing that assignment with you.
Thank you.
And from the staff, we can get, by the time of that meeting, we can just get some ballpark idea.
Yeah, we'll between now and then we'll work. Zach just gave her a card. We'll give some thought to a cost and a budget so that the board can make that decision down the road a bit.
Thank you. I don't see anyone on Zoom. Do you?
I do not, Chair.
No. Approval of minutes. Rancho Senior Recreation Park District Board of Directors meeting, March 6th, 2024. Are there any comments or corrections? Hearing none, do we hear a motion?
I will make a motion to approve those minutes.
I'll second.
Roll call.
Director Dennard,
Yes.
Director Gray,
Aye.
Director O'Brien,
Yes.
Vice Chair Avila,
Aye.
Chair Freeman,
Yes.
and the motion carries with a unanimous vote.
Item 6, consent agenda. We have approval of the February 29 accounts payable check register and the February 23rd payroll check and Is there any questions on any of those items? Do I have a motion?
I will.
Chair, I'm sorry to interrupt, we should take public comment on the consent, yeah.
Thank you. Is there anyone in the audience that would like to address the accounts payable under item 6? Seeing none, and I see no one on Zoom, that will go to a motion.
I will make the motion to approve the consent agenda.
I'll second.
Roll call?
Director Dennert,
Yes.
Director Gray,
Aye.
Director O'Brien,
Yes.
Vice Chair Avila,
Aye.
Chair Freeman.
Yes.
The motion carries with a unanimous vote.
We'll go to item 7, presentations, scheduling, and public hearings. A is presentation of employee of the month for February 2024. It's Brandon Harris, youth sports referee.
Thank you, Chair and Board. Ms. Teresa Pennington, the District's Director of Administration, will provide staff's report.
Thank you,
Brandon.
Chair Freeman and members of the board. Brandon was unable to attend, but I'd be happy to read his nomination into the record. Brandon has been with the district for 5 years. This is his first Employee of the Month award. And the person who nominated him stated, Brandon is always accommodating, pleasant, and polite. He holds many positions within the Park District, including Youth Basketball League referee, administrative assistant, event monitor, and building maintenance worker. On multiple occasions, Brandon has started his day assuming one position and ending in another while smiling and ready to be helpful. Brandon is dedicated, hardworking, reliable, easy to get along with, and cares about his coworkers. Highly motivated, he takes a positive approach to doing his job, and he's well deserving of this award. So congratulations to Brandon.
Any board comment? Director Gray?
I'll just say congratulations, and as someone who's booed many a referee, that is a hard job. Thank you for doing it, and thank you especially for doing it for youth sports programming. I hope it's really rewarding, and would love to hear about it at either a future meeting or some other time in the future. Thank you, Brandon, for your work for the district.
Thank you.
No, I just wanted to say congratulations and job well done. Happy to have him.
Director Evelyn? Director Denning?
I'm thinking if we need to deliver this, maybe Josh will deliver it. Josh, that's one of the funniest things you've said. So I just want to congratulate him because I know it's not always an easy job. And if you do a good job, nobody thanks you. If you do a bad job or perceived a bad job, people definitely give you feedback. So I appreciate him.
I just pass on to him that being a kind of person that will take on anything and help anywhere will get him a long ways in the future. And I think we're lucky to have a person with that kind of attitude. Thank you.
Also said, apparently I set the bar really, really low.
You know what? I was going to ask that exact question, but I...
Okay. Continued business? None? New business? Authorization to purchase 2 new Ford F-550 regular cab and chassis from Downtown Ford of Sacramento.
Thank you, Chair and Board. Wayne Nakaoka, the District's Director of Planning and Maintenance, will provide staff's report.
Chair Freeman, members of the board, as the Park District continues its endeavors searching for new trucks and vehicles for the Park District, our luck must be finally changing. Oops. I guess the microphone wasn't on. Downtown Ford of Sacramento has notified the Park District that 2 of the vehicles we've been looking for the past almost 2.5 years are actually sitting on their lot. These 2 vehicles were for a larger municipal agency who bought, I think, 30 vehicles. But in actuality, they decided only to buy 15, so they got some leftover vehicles there. These 2 vehicles exceed the specifications I wrote. They come with more options and amenities than what we were originally asking for. They're very good vehicles. Both of them are Ford 550s, cab and chassis only, so you won't see any back end to the vehicles when we get them. What we're going to do is transfer the equipment off of 2 of our existing vehicles, which is vehicle number 92, which is our universal utility bed roll-off. We're going to take that bed and put it onto one of the vehicles. And the other vehicle is number 107, which is our Altec bucket lift truck. And that's the truck we use to change all the light bulbs throughout the Park District. Currently, right now, the Park District is renting a truck to do the lifting. The only reason is truck 92 is on CARB's out of compliance list. The diesel engine was made prior to 2009. And our CARB, our vehicle number 107, which is our Altec lift, is under a limited use listing through CARB, which we only can drive it 1,000 miles a year. We put that on pretty quick. I think it already has 1,000 miles a year, so it's sitting in the back. Since we'll be actually doing a favor to Downtown Ford, taking these two vehicles off their hands, they've agreed to sell both of these vehicles to their original price quote that we received back in October 2023, which totals $132,651.44. Adequate funds to purchase both of these vehicles have been earmarked in the district's budget under the Simi Valley General Fund and the Simi Valley Assessment Fund. Staff is requesting that the board authorize the purchase of the two 550 trucks from Downtown Ford to Sacramento, California under the CMAS agreement, and to purchase both of these vehicles through a purchase order. And I'm here to answer any questions you might have.
Any questions?
I just have one quick question, which you kind of sort of halfway answered. The price that they quoted us last October is still good?
Yes.
Okay.
They will sell it. The actual price for both of these vehicles, they actually told me it was about, they were going to sell them to whatever municipal agency, I know the one, but I can't say their name, for $73,000 a piece. So we're saving $11,000 a vehicle. This was a great opportunity.
Okay, good.
My question is, how do they get down here? Do we have to send someone up there?
No. They will transport them. There is a transportation fee already built into the
Okay.
price quote.
So they'll get them down here to us?
If they don't get them down here within a month, I'm afraid Mr. Mendez is probably going to take a trip up to Sacramento and drive both of them back.
Yeah, that's what I was
He
wondering.
did that last week for the water truck. We were so excited, he went to go pick it up.
I'll open the public hearing. If there is anyone in the audience that would like to comment on this item, or anyone on Zoom. Hearing none, I'll close the public hearing. Are there any further comments or questions? Do I have a motion?
I'll move approval.
I'll second.
Roll call.
Director Dennert.
Yes.
Director Gray.
Aye.
Director O'Brien.
Yes.
Vice Chair Avila.
Aye.
Chair Freeman.
Yes.
The motion carries with a unanimous vote.
Thank you. We'll go to item 10, written communication.
Staff has none.
Any board members have any? Okay.
I do have a written communication.
Okay.
A member of the public gave me feedback on one of our people I was working with for us on a project. And before I give you the feedback, I don't know the validity of it. I wasn't there. Whether the feedback is positive, negative, or accurate, I wasn't there to say it, but I rely on the feedback. They were talking about the Oak Park tennis courts and pickleball courts and the paint done. And they said that they were talking to the person working on it and said that they should have added sand to it so when the ball hits, it doesn't slide off.
We talked about this last time.
I got an email sent to him. And he said that when he gave him that feedback, that the person was rude to him and said that they were lucky to have those courts, that they were taking them over. So this person that sent me an email said that this person shouldn't work for us and that because of their anger and rudeness. But I just received this email. Like I said, I don't know if it's accurate. I wasn't there, but that's their feedback.
Just so that it's clear, I received the same email. I was thinking back to last meeting. I didn't know whether that was since then or not, but I received the same email.
I think you might have just received it before I did. That's it.
Any other? All right. Nothing from the audience, I'm sure. With that, excuse me. Reports by board members. Director Evelyn.
Just a couple questions that the district manager maybe can answer when it gets to his report, and then one comment. The first, just going off of what Director Dennert said, do we have an update on whether the lines are going to be repainted or not?
Yeah, I think he was out there doing it, correct?
Has it been done?
The contractor did go out and have an interaction with that that player, so we were aware of that. I believe that his price quote was significantly more than what we originally were led to believe when we talked about the repainting, and I think our maintenance team was working on trying to make that price work for the district.
Okay, so that's still in progress?
Correct, yes, still in progress.
All right, and the second question is, we're getting close to local election season, so I like to see whether people keep their promises or not. If we could get an update on the status of getting the land for the BMX track when it gets to your report. And then I didn't have any events. I do have one other comment. I spoke with Dan and Teresa today. I know we have the ribbon cutting for the Arroyo Greenway coming up next week. And one of my concerns, and I've just been so busy the last week that this was my first chance to really speak with them. One of my concerns about that is, I know we're focusing on, dignitaries or local officials and all that attending, and I think that's great and everything. But for me, the whole use of the Arroyo Greenway and the way it came about, this last phase as fast as it did, is because of the public. And I just want to make sure we reach out to the public and all those interested can show up for that. To me, that's the more important part of the opening. So again, I just want to emphasize to staff, if we can do the outreach to get the word out about the ribbon cutting, because to me, the dignitary and elected official part on that one is secondary to the public. This was because of the public, and it was for the public, and those are the people who we should invite and make sure they get there.
Thank you, Ed. This afternoon, Richard did start that process in reaching out to the Acorn and also through social media. So we've got a charge on letting the public know about the ribbon cutting event next week.
Director Dinner?
Ed, I appreciate you bringing up the BMX track. I was just thinking the other night about, as months and years, the longer it takes, the more expensive it gets. Just the delay by itself is adding to it. So I was interested in the update too. And then I was at Bronco Canyon for a volleyball match between two schools. And a person from the neighborhood, I think, walked over and said some inappropriate things to some of the athletes. But the reason I'm bringing it up in this meeting is because I was able to contact the park rangers. Dan was very responsive. The park rangers were out there really quick. And although they never did find the person, many of the athletes were able to tell them just focus on the game because they weren't worried about it as much anymore because the park rangers were patrolling the area. So they knew that the person wasn't not going to come back. So Dan, thank you for helping me contact the park rangers for that. And then,
was it a parent? I mean, was it an adult or another?
No, it was no one associated with the schools. They walked over, they said some inappropriate things, and then they walked away, and we saw them, because Uncle Kane's kind of on a hill. Yeah. We saw them walking really far away into the neighborhood, but by the time we figured out who it was, I drove over there, and he was gone. And then I spoke at the Earth Savers Club, which is a group of, I'm going to guess, 5 to 8-year-olds. I did not ask them their age. And they're a very ambitious group that wants to work to protect the planet. And their first project is they built bug hotels. So native bees don't live in beehives. They're not honeybees. Anyways, they built bug motels. They're about this big, and they painted them. And then they invited me to the meeting to find out about the rules because they wanted to put them all over parks. And I said, well, there's a lot of rules for good reasons. Like some people might not know what it is. And you have to ask permission, and we're a democracy. I'm only one of 5 board members. So they got a lesson in that. But I did tell them that I would take one. And I told them I'd bring it back to attention. So at the end of the meeting, if anybody wants a bug hotel for your front yard, you just let me know. And they're custom painted, top-notch quality. And then you just put it out, and they would ask if any bugs end up living in there to take a picture to send to them. And that goes for staff and members of the public too. Bug hotels on sale for free by local artists. That's it for me.
Director Gray?
Thank you. I appreciated staff's social media posts about the medallion hunt. I think that'll be exciting. And I'll also say the See Me program, I appreciate its purpose and cause. I also love the name, and it makes me chuckle anytime I see promotions for it. So just want to give a shout out to anybody who was involved with that naming. Beyond that, I'm sad I'll miss the ribbon cutting. Unfortunately, that is opening day, and I will be at the Dodger game.
Josh, you're lucky. I was planning to have you pull me on a skateboard and you be on a bike. I figured it'd be brag about how smooth it is, but I was really planning that out.
We'll do a video for, let's do it the following weekend.
Okay,
We'll post it on social media. There's some other promotional stuff we still need to do too in the parks. I wanted to congratulate you, Brian, on your Civic Education Leadership Award. That's fantastic. Thank you for your service to the community. And I also wanted to wish my wife a happy anniversary. We were in Palm Springs last week. Unfortunately, it was for a work conference and not for fun, but she came with me anyways, and I bought her a very nice dinner. And she just left the room. She was there when I looked. I was going to thank Jeannie one more time for all the work she did in making the wedding happen. It was rainy, but I will thank Jeannie as well as the Stratton crew who made all of that possible. And I know you're doing that too for dozens of other couples during the wedding season. So I want to thank again the staff for helping make that happen. And that is it for me.
It was a busy year for you.
Very busy year. Yes. I'm a little tired.
Yeah.
I didn't have that many events. I did go to the State of the City talk today at the Cultural Arts Center, and they did it differently this time with a video of the mayor telling us all the stuff that was going on in town. The good thing about that is it didn't run on over like they have been prone to do in the past. So it was good, and it seemed to work pretty well. It was good. There's lots going on in this town, not just with us, but everywhere, everyone. And I went over with Director Freeman and Dan over to the community center to look at the little house on the prairie setup. And it's really interesting. It's going to be quite a festival.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to it. I'm volunteering on Sunday, so looking forward to showing up and checking it out when it's done. And let's see, that's all I've got. Oh, congratulations, Brian, on your Civics Educator Award.
I'm not going to focus on it for a long time, but I'm going to say it because there was 2 teachers and a student. The thing is, like, I get the certificate and plaque, but it was definitely a team effort. Like, if you have a quarterback that looks like a really good quarterback, they're nothing without an offensive line. So we have a lot of good staff members, students that work together on it.
Good. Okay. That's it for me.
I had never been in all the years out here to an every 15 minutes. So I went to the every 15 minutes at Simi High. And it is really an amazing effort with the police, the fire, ambulances. You know, the kids were a little talking, and then it started, and then when the driver had to do testing for DUI, and when he was handcuffed and put in the car, the audience just got very serious. I think it does make an impression, and there's a lot of work goes into that, and a lot of cooperation between agencies, but I think it's probably worth every penny if it saves one life, or keeps one kid from not drinking and driving. So that was good. I was invited to participate in the Ventura County District Attorney's Office community event for East County Family Justice Center that's being proposed. Of course, Thousand Oaks wants it and Simi Valley wants it, so we'll see how that turns out. But it was from 10 to about 3 o'clock on Monday. And the people from San Diego, where there is a very large and successful family justice center, and we saw all the things that they offer in one place for victims. And right now, if you have a family issue and you have to drive all the way to Ventura for the services, it's really not a good thing. You know, there were over 2,000 cases last year. I mean, everything that you can imagine. And we had case studies, and we had to figure out what kind of services were needed. And the only, well, I got the impression, and I have no factual on this, that there may be money available coming through Congress and through the state to help fund it in the East County. Right now, in about a year, the Carmen Ramirez Center will be open in Oxnard. So there'd be one in Ventura, one in Oxnard, and then the ultimate goal is to have one here in the East County. And the services are all from counseling and child, family counseling, even a play area for kids. And I was sitting there thinking about how the district could interface, you know, ultimately. So I think it's something we should continue to participate in when they have the discussions. The one thing that I was disappointed a little is that when I asked what their budget was for San Diego, nobody knew what the budget was. Because it's a combination of services, but they have one building with all this in there. So I was curious what the budget impact was. But anyway, I think that I think it's moving forward, and I think we're going to hear more about it. And I was really glad to be able to be a participant. I went to the State of the City today, and I'm not sure I liked it better than having the people actually talk rather than a PowerPoint. But it did get over quicker because people tend to talk more than they're supposed to. So. And then, if you haven't seen what's going on down at Little House of the Prairie, at Rancho Santa Su, it's really pretty amazing. And it's done by professional set people are setting it all up, and it's very, very professional. So it's going to be busy down at that end of the city this weekend, I think. So we heard numbers like 8,000 tickets have sold.
Wow.
So.
On that, I've heard another number as well, that it's anticipated to have 15,000 out-of-town people.
How many?
15,000 this weekend.
Whoa.
Yeah, I've heard something like 15,000 also. So.
Oh.
I noticed that.
Well,
Just to add to that, we did hear at the State of the City today that it will also be featured on Good Morning America tomorrow. So Kathy was on. I thought it would be important for us to know that we, our local park will be highlighted as part of that event.
Oh, good. Are there any other comments of the board? Report by district manager.
Thank you, Chair and Board. We did your staff has started the budget process for 24-25. So that involves them putting all the pieces together and then putting together the budget package for you. As you're aware, the Project Priorities meeting is scheduled for your meeting in May, and we'll be doing outreach for that to get community input like we did last year. Just the Arroyo Simi ribbon cutting, just want to announce the date, March 28th, Wednesday at 3:30. We have invited representatives from the, what's that?
Thursday.
Is it on? It's Thursday?
Yeah.
Thursday, March 28th at 3:30. We have invited representatives from the city, their partners in the project, the county, and some of our other partners. And as Ed had recommended, we've started a community outreach today to get folks from the public and make them aware of the event. The Oak Park outreach plan, we are putting out education and information regarding a process to make sure we get regular input from the Oak Park community. We will be meeting every other month. Staff will on the second Thursday of the month from 4:30 to 6. And we're also posting information both publicly in social media, but also on the site about how folks from Oak Park can access your meetings and access your agendas to keep apprised of activity at the board level. I did give a presentation to the Republican women's group in town regarding the Arroyo. As usual, very well received, very happy that we have that effort going on and our part in it. We do have a meeting. The board has been talking about expanding our mental health education and outreach and programming. The staff and I have a meeting with the chief deputy for outreach from Ventura County Behavioral Health next week, I believe. So we're following up on that as we have discussed. The per capita grant, that was the grant that we had allocated for the parking lot, but the parking lot came in too expensive. We are resubmitting that for the kiosk project. So we had funds budgeted for the kiosk. We're going to try to get the kiosk project funded with the per capita grant, the $95,000 that we didn't use for the parking lot. Reviewed our February financials with staff. We're in good shape in terms of our planning, and everything is in, we're doing well. Nothing negative to report there. Our active shooter training has been rescheduled for April 4th at 10 a.m. Remember that got postponed, so it's been rescheduled for that day. If you cannot attend, we'll be recording it that day. The officer that's presenting it has indicated we can record it, and we'll be making that available to all of the staff and anybody else that may want to view it after the fact.
Did you say 10 a.m.?
Yeah. Regarding the BMX track, my understanding is that the status is still the same. They are still looking at alternative uses. I haven't talked to them about it in a couple weeks. I can call and get any definitive updates, and I'll report that to the board, but I understand they are still negotiating or looking at alternative prospects for that piece of property. We're trying to get those plans aligned. So your April 3rd board meeting.
I apologize to ask you a quick question about that. If they went with a different idea for it, we're not obliged to do anything else with the property, right? Like the expanded regional park area?
No, I don't know that. Yeah, we structured a concept where we were going to get access to the property for other partnerships, and if that doesn't materialize, I would think that the board would probably want to revisit that, in my opinion, but that's up to you guys. Yeah. April 3rd is your next board meeting. The Historical Society is required to present to you guys annually a report of their activities and other things. They haven't done that in a few years, primarily because of COVID. COVID's now long gone, so we've invited them back to start their annual reporting to the board. We're anticipating a potential contract extension for the Birdie Bar at the Simi Hills Golf Course. We're anticipating a memorandum of understanding with the University of California Master Gardener Program to potentially expand their efforts at Strathern, so it would be a partnership in our property at Strathern. We've got a payment, an off-budget payment. There was some damage to a dam out by Sinaloa, the dam we used to drive across. We got an invoice from the county that indicates that we're responsible to pay for that repair work. There's a maintenance agreement associated with that, so staff and I will be looking at that and potentially with Ryan to make sure that we do have that obligation or not. We have the CSDA Coastal Network nomination that will be on your April 3rd agenda, and also 2 notices of completion, which is exciting. We like those. It means we're getting work done for both the pool project and the bike path project. April 17th, again, that's a month out. We'll probably have more by the time we get there. We're looking at the golf fees on April 17th and the Earth Day certificates, among other items that may come up at that time. With that, that concludes my report.
On the Oak Park outreach, are there any dates set for when we're, I know you, the
Yeah,
plan was
it's
to
the
go out there
the second Thursday of each month. I'll get those out to you guys.
And when will
starting
that start?
in April, and then every other month after that. So April, May, June, July, August. So I'll get you guys those dates in the press release that we're about ready to send out.
Thank you. Any other questions of the board? With that, we'll go into closed session at 13.
I don't think we're going to have any reportable action out of this.
That's correct.
Yeah, so we can probably adjourn from here, or we'll be adjourning after the closed session, and we won't need to come back on camera, I believe.
Okay.
Is there any public comment on the closed session?
Seeing none.
So we'll adjourn out of the closed session and we won't be coming back on camera. Unless you guys want to. No, okay. We've gone out of closed
Yeah.
session.
So I just want to quickly report that we received direction from the board that no reportable action was taken in closed session. Thank you.
Thank you. Before we adjourn, one thing I wanted to do was thank the staff for the presentation they put together today for the PowerPoint. And I thought it was very well done. It hit all the great stuff we're doing.
And we put BMX in there as well.
I mean, it was really good. Thank you. Okay. With that, we'll adjourn at 7:45. Wow. Wow.